Welcome to Star Citizen. There are quite a bit of keys you need to know to fly your ship. Here are, well, most of them. There are other variations and ways you can still use them, but these are just the most of them. Now, this is not a guide to your ship controls. I believe I did that a while ago, but it is to give an overall perspective of what you may have not known about your ship, what your ship tells you, and how to use your ship. From entering the pilot seat to getting it flight ready. Now, most of these keys are on the side and you already know what they do. Or, well, perhaps you don't, and this is a great reminder of what some of these keys can do. You can also hold F to look around and, well, do certain aspects like unlock your doors and other things. But you can also just press U to start your ship up. But you cannot really fly until this little red bar is gone. Before it is gone, there is not enough power for your ship's thrusters to take off. Now, there are certain exceptions, like for the Drake Cutlass Black, which has heavy-duty thrusters, and your shields are also generating themselves. There is a lot of information here, and I believe I have gone over it in an older video, but first things first, you're gonna use your scroll to increase your movement speed. After what, you're gonna contact the landing control, and we're gonna take off. If you're going to quantum travel, you cannot always just travel by holding down B. You may sometimes need to set route, and you can actually see here how much quantum fuel it will take from your ship. How much will be left, and so you can do some basic math to understand if you can make it back and forth. Or do you need to refuel yourself in a station along the way? How fast you move in quantum travel is dependent on your components, the quantum drive. If you have high military grade, it will be very fast, but it will also deplete it. If you have your standard, which is common for most ships, it is the civilian grade, which is quite effective, but is kind of slow. Now, your ship speed isn't affected by the power plant or anything like that. The ship speed is as fast as it can go. It doesn't change if you change your components. But when quantum traveling, it is dependent on what quantum drive you do have. I have here a simple mission to destroy some probes. The two little arrows on the bottom left are the ones where my ship is moving, and the center is where I'm shooting. The reason you want to keep those two apart is you might crash into your target. And that's what I usually try to do. If you are on point with those little two arrows that right went off the screen, then you are more likely to crash into whatever you are shooting. If you stand still, it will disappear and nothing is there to see, and you don't really need it if you're destroying these little probes. You just need to burn them down. As you can see, this is a stock ship because it has only two weapons equipped. Some of these stock ships aren't really full kitted like the Mustang Alpha and the RSI Aurora, so you need to get some of those weapons yourself. V is the scanning mode. It is good for trying to scan, for example, rocks, other ships, things like that. I'm using tab to ping to see if there are any rocks nearby, and there is a little box you can see. We're gonna go close and we're gonna try to scan it. There are two parts for this. If we start scanning, we hold it down, and up somewhere in the center there should appear scanning written in red. Now, this indicates the scan is in progress. On the right side, you can see a bar. On the left side, we got our first information about the scan. Its weight, mass, thickness, so on. If we scan longer, we will get some more information on the right side that will indicate what we are dealing with. How much of it, what is there. It's not too useful if you're just trying to fly around and scan things, but if you have a mining ship, you actually need it to scan and see if it's worth your time. So next up, the combat element. You use tab to ping. It will try to notify you of the nearby ships. There is one right there. Since he is quite far away, I can't really keep my target on him, but once I get closer, my target will remain. Now, since it's a friendly ship, it is not aggressive to me right from the start, but once I start shooting at it, it will start firing back, and once I kill it, I get a criminal stat. The same thing goes for locking. If I would switch to missiles and get a lock on my target, they would turn aggressive, and I would be in a combat scenario. But I still would not get a crime stat before I would destroy them. If they are turned hostile, you can actually outrun them. If you get far enough and come back, they will be friendly once again. Once you get locked on, don't be afraid to use the flares. You have quite many of them and they will help you out of quite many troublesome scenarios. Now, there are scenarios where you might not need them, but it's always good to pop one just in case. It might also be good to know if you're using the right type of flare or shaft against a right type of rocket. To put it short, the flares work against infrared. The shaft works against electromagnetic, and you have no countermeasure against cross-section to either break the line of sight or just outrange it. I believe I have also had few scenarios where the electromagnetic rockets have been countered by the flare as well, although they may have been horrible angles that the NPCs or players shot at me. Fighting against NPCs is quite simple. Keep your aim on your target and just try to maneuver away from the line of fire. Move left, up, down, right. As long as you're not moving in a certain direct line, the AI will usually have some trouble hitting you. It will still try to lead its aim, but if you're very unpredictable, it works fine. And against players, you can try to move a bit like this, moving towards your target but not going in a straight line. Just spinning with giving some extra lift or just going to the sides and spinning, trying to make sure that you're not where the aim assist indicator will be. With the G key you can change your aim, and well, that is one of the good things about this game. You don't really need to change it. If you have some fixed weapons, it's best to leave it in the center. But if you have some stationary targets and you plan to move, for example some base turrets, the free aim or aim assist can help you quite a bit. You don't really need to use them because the fixed aim is one of the more comfortable ones once you get the hang of it, but there are other options to use as well. If you truly think you need assist against base turrets or anything, sure, go for it. Other than that, you don't really need it. So this was just a few things I didn't know about the ships, how to use them, how to play them, how to, well, manage myself inside a ship. And I hope it gave some insight. Anyway, thanks for watching.